So this news at this point is 4 days old, which is like 11 years old in E3 time.
Yeah.
But you have announced Robotoki's first game.
Yes.
So it's a zombie game.
It is. It's not a zombie game. It's a zombie game that's not about zombies. So yeah, exactly. So the thing is, human element is, this actually takes place, the core console PC experience actually takes place 35 years after the event occurred. And that event just happened to be a zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
So at this point, we know how to deal with them. They're not really a threat. They're slow, they're stupid, they immobilize themselves. What we're worried about at this point is the human element, which is why we named it the human element. We're worried about all the other survivors who are smart enough and able enough to survive in this own world and kill you for what you want, fight you for what you want. So that's what we're really looking at. Think of we're trying to take all these sci-fi elements out of zombies. Yeah, they're happening, we have to deal with it, they're in this world. But now let's look at that apocalypse in a very different way 35 years after it's happened.
So is there like a zombie forecaster on the local news who's like,
Where the hordes are moving?
there's a big horde on the freeway. It's going to be a terrible commute this morning. If you roll over them, that's fine. Just make sure you back up and then keep going. Is it that kind of world?
There's that newscaster, except he doesn't have a TV crew. He's not actually on television.
He's just a guy
on the corner screaming it out.
He's probably related to the guys that are screaming on the corner in front of the convention.
They're part of the same crew, except he's 35 years in the future of that.
What style of game is it? Have you nailed down? Are you willing to talk about that?
Yeah, well, on the core console PC experience, it's a first-person survival game. It's a very cinematic, immersive experience. Now, what we're doing on tablet is very different, and this is what I'm most excited about that we're doing with Robotoki is we're looking to design very platform-agnostic experiences. So, when I'm at home and I'm sitting down with a controller in my hands, I want to be engaged. I want to be immersed in this universe. But now say I leave my house in real life. I'm out, about, I'm in a train, on a plane, I'm in a waiting room. I open up my iPad, I open up Human Element on that. So now we're pulling in, Google Maps API, we're pulling in Foursquare Business API, and we're overlaying the world of Human Element on top of that. What? So now I'm scavenging all these real-world locations for dynamic supply. So I know what I'm going to get from a CVS pharmacy. I know what I'm going to get from here. Think of it in this context, okay?
That's awesome.
Think of it as you're playing the game at home. You're playing, you get injured, you're hurt, you need medical supplies. You either don't want to risk going out and finding them, or you've already tried and you can't find any, but there's a CVS pharmacy 4 miles up the street. You go up the street, go check in there on your iPad, get those supplies, and that feeds into your experience on all the other platforms. Because I think
So you're gamifying real life.
Exactly.
What I love is if I can't decide if that's the most evil thing in the world or if that's so unbelievably cool.
What I want is I want to see that text message screenshot on Twitter where somebody was talking to their girlfriend. She's like, "Hey, I'm going to Target. Do you need anything?" And he's like, "Yeah, I need nails and I need bandages." And she'd be like, "Is this real life or for the game?"
Yeah.
When that conversation happens, I can die a happy designer.
Your mission statement for Robotoki is sort of what I wish everyone's mission statement was, about creating a creative and an environment that nurtures and fosters creativity.
Yes.
And it's really difficult to read that and not think, well, you just left a huge mega publisher.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard to read that and not think, this seems a little reactive to something. What about that?
Well, you leave, and when you leave something like that, I worked on a mega franchise, Call of Duty, for 7 years at one of the biggest publishers in the industry. And with that sort of experience behind me, you learn a lot about what you don't want. You learn a lot about what works well, like what makes a successful franchise. You learn a lot of great lessons, and part of that is learning okay, this doesn't work. This is not how you do it. And I think as an industry as a whole, we have a lot to learn about how we treat creative talent. Because at the end of the day, the thing that you learn is we're in a creative field, just like film and television and anything that you create. You're not, it's not black and white. It requires emotion and it requires passion and it requires people to be happy, because if you're not happy with what you're doing, it's going to show in the quality of your work. That's why with Robotoki, our entire design philosophy is about focused on that team first and everything else second. We're not focused on the project, we're focused on the team creating the project. Because if we nail that, and that's my job, if we nail the happy team, you're going to get a good project.
That almost sounds like the philosophy that drove the original Activision guys to
Right.
leave Atari in like '79 or whenever they went and did that. That there was this, they were very successful, they were making awesome games that everybody loved, but the corporate culture overwhelmed the creative culture.
Right, exactly. There needs to be a difference in that. There needs to be like, you can't let business objectives guide your creative decisions, no matter what. And luckily, you know, we're in a place now where we came out running with Robotoki. We announced and we're like, okay, I'm self-funding out of my own pocket the start of this company so that we're not being shaped, our foundation isn't being shaped by those business objectives. We're not taking someone else's money to risk setting up this company. We're doing it on our own so that we can set the foundation the way we want to build a company, the way we want to build a creative team. And once we've done that, which we've done now, let's find partners who want to come in and be a part of that, going into it knowing that of like, this is the type of culture you're dealing with, and we will not compromise on this set. What I love is we've taken the approach, and this is in our mission statement, that we don't let anybody's job description be their confines. We let that be their launching pad to whatever else they want to be. They can be an expert animator, or an expert designer, an expert scripter, but because they are an expert in that, they probably have valuable insight on other elements of game development. And that's what I think we've always done very well previously, what I've worked on, and what I like to carry over is that philosophy of like, contribute everywhere. If you have expertise, if you have knowledge, if you just have opinion, an educated opinion, then share that, because that's going to benefit the team as a whole. I hate these places that are black and white design of like, you're an animator, you only animate. You don't have say in this, you don't have say in that, don't contribute to this, like just do your job. That is the worst phrase in creative design ever. Just do your job is the worst thing you can tell a creative professional.
What are your feelings on DRM, and how will that work? Will that be part of your games?
I'm not a fan of DRM at all. I'm a fan of like, we work a long time to deliver an experience, and we want people to enjoy that experience as it is. A lot of times DRM gets in a way indirectly of enjoying that experience, and it's bothersome, you know, it drives me crazy. Let them enjoy it, because like I said, like the more people experiences it, if you've done your job correctly, they're going to tell more people, and they're going to tell more people, and they're going to bring it in. And a human element is a very social experience. So specifically with human element, I don't think it's something that works, you know? It's something that is meant to be a very social thing, and DRM only limits the social capabilities of it.
One of the themes that has emerged from this E3 for me is the rise of indie studios.
Yes.
And I think one of the areas where the indie studios and the indie games are doing it way better than the big studios is with things like Humble Bundle and putting stuff on Steam and making it easy for people to get things, and then these games go on to be huge successes because of it.
It's all about accessibility, you know? If you want to play our game, play our game. Let us make it as easy for you as possible to play our game.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, just do it. Just put it out there, and why make additional hassle for anybody?